This is Tar Heel Talk, an in-depth look at the issues and people making news in North Carolina. Here's your host, Sonia Williams.
A recent article in Bloomberg Business noted that while African Americans make up about 13% of the U.S. population, they make up no more than 1% of technical employees at places like Google, Facebook, and other prominent companies. And less than 5% of people receiving bachelor's degrees in computer science and other technology majors are African American. Well, now Shaw University is working to change that with a plan to become a top producer of highly trained minority technical professionals. Joining us now to tell us more about the university's focus on producing technology talent are Shaw's president, Dr. Tashni Ann DuBrois, and chair of the Department of Computer and Information Sciences, Dr. Lloyd Williams. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Sonia, for having us.
Now, when you were installed as Shaw University's president, you unveiled your EPIC approach to leadership and success. Talk a little bit about your EPIC vision, what that is exactly, and what role technology plays in that.
Well, EPIC and being Shaw U EPIC is something that came to me at 2 o'clock in the morning, like most ideas do for marketing. I wanted to ensure that the university had a tagline that was memorable, that would stick, and that would exhibit entrepreneurial excellence and culture of entrepreneurial action across the university. So the E in EPIC stands for entrepreneurial thinking and excellence. I also wanted the community to understand that Shaw would position itself as number one, especially in technology fields. And so the P stands for position. We want to be known at the local level, regionally, and abroad. The I in EPIC stands for immaculate grounds and offices, because I knew I needed some to clean up. But then we added innovation to it, because we want to be on the cutting edge of everything, no matter what degree program we offer. We wanted to make sure that we were adding substantively to the knowledge arena in every facet of our college education. And then the C stands for customer care. Unfortunately, over the years, I noticed that we were dull in some areas of customer service, and we needed to now refocus on customer service both internally and externally, and ensure that the student was always at the forefront of our thoughts. So Shaw U EPIC is demonstrative of that.
I know that you took the helm at a time when historically black colleges and universities across the country are facing a difficult time when you talk about people being concerned about their relevance and their enrollment.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your vision for Shaw University and maintaining its relevance here in the Triangle area and beyond.
I think Shaw University is strategically positioned, not only because of its location, but also because of its responsiveness to the workforce needs. And we are strategically positioned to be competitive in the technology realm. I cannot overlook the plethora of technology entities that are right there in our midst in downtown Raleigh. And that sets us up to be in conversation and engaging these companies at every moment in time. It turns out that it was very easy for me to open those doors because they'd been waiting on Shaw University. And so companies like Red Hat, IBM, Fidelity Investments, they really were responsive to what it is that we had to offer. And what it now means is that it's time for Shaw to shine. And professors like Dr. Lloyd Williams, he has already taken the helm. And in his department, they're demonstrating excellence in academic achievement. The students there are outstanding, and companies like Apple, Google, Fidelity are looking for them. And I think that also has a domino effect in terms of what it does to the morale of our students. Initially, I think some of our students felt as if they were not welcomed or wanted in corporate arenas, but now that they're seeing some of our graduates gaining job placements prior to graduating, it really does change their mindset and let them know that their dreams are achievable.
Absolutely, and that's a huge goal, Dr. Williams, for the Computer and Information Sciences Department is to get this talent into the workforce as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Fortunately, I think there's been a real recognition in both government and industry that this is a problem we really have to solve. We saw in the tech booms back in the 90s, there was a need for programmers. But now when we look at the world today, these kind of highly skilled technical workers, it's not just software companies anymore. It's pretty much every company. These are the people who keep your lights on, who run the inventories at the grocery store. Just about every single industry really needs these workers, and there already are not enough of them. So it's a very, very important problem. We have to solve it if our country is going to be competitive globally. So we have to have these workers who can do these jobs. And moving forward, we've got to be competitive with countries with much larger populations too. And if we are only training a small portion of our country for these jobs, it's really setting ourselves up to fail. So we have to solve this. We have to open up these jobs to everyone.
I know that diversity, or the lack thereof, has been an issue in the technology industry for a number of years now, and a lot of companies are getting pressure to diversify or to bring a more diverse workforce into their companies. Talk a little bit about what you're seeing, what you're hearing from companies, and how you're helping to support that new demand for a diverse workforce.
Well, fortunately, there's been a lot of buy-in to the need to solve this. So if you just look at population demographics and where our country's heading, we absolutely have to do it. But also research has conclusively shown that diverse problem-solving teams are more effective at reaching better solutions more quickly. So if you have a group of 5 people who all had very similar training, very similar backgrounds, they're all going to think very similarly. Whereas if you have a group of 5 diverse people from very diverse backgrounds, they're going to bring a wealth of different ideas, different approaches, and that kind of diverse team is going to get to more innovative, more novel, and usually better solutions a lot more quickly. So I think a lot of places the value of diversity has really been seen because it's highly effective.
Absolutely. Dr. DuBrois, you have publicly expressed your desire to partner with area businesses that are right within view of Shaw University in downtown Raleigh. Talk a little bit about some of the companies that you want to partner with and where you are with talks on that.
Well, the companies like Red Hat were an easy target, right? I get to see Red Hat's logo right outside my window every morning. And so when I became president, I ensured that, hey, I called them out, you know, to let them know that I'd be there soon. And I stayed true to that promise. Red Hat was one of the very first companies that we approached. And not surprisingly, they welcomed us with open arms. You know, I think sometimes it's just a matter of having a conversation, and you can't get what you've never asked for. And so after doing that, I went to Cisco. They were just as receptive. As I mentioned, IBM has been a very strong partner, and they've not only done so by employing our students and placing them in internships, but they've also contributed monetarily by giving us a grant with which to complete our strategic plan. And so we're completing that right now. And Apple has also given us about $50,000 via the Thurgood Marshall Fund for a technology initiative. And as I mentioned, Fidelity has been very strong in terms of employing our students. One student that WRAL actually featured is Lionel Morgan, who's been very successful at an internship there and was already offered a job. And so, you know, when I see things like this happening, HQ in Raleigh, and being a part of Innovate Raleigh and being, you know, present in the downtown arena, I think that it really adds credence to what it is that Shaw University is doing. People have seen a difference in the type of leadership that we now have, and I've ensured that when I say that I'm going to show up, I actually am there, and not only am I present, but I'm contributing to the conversation, because I know how to articulate what Shaw University's needs are and where it is that we're going, and I think that's critical. And so I have to ensure that that the community trusts what I say I will do, and so I deliver on it each time.
Absolutely, making some great headway really quickly. We're going to take a break. We'll talk more in just a minute.
Sounds good.
We'll be back with more on Shaw's Computer and Information Sciences program after these messages. Today's show focuses on Shaw University's efforts to increase diversity in the IT field. With us again are Dr. Tashni Ann Dubroy, president of Shaw University, and Dr. Lloyd Williams, chair of Shaw's Computer and Information Sciences Department. Now, before the break, we were talking a little bit about the importance of creating a more diverse market when it comes to computer and information sciences in that field. Let's talk a little bit now about Shaw University's efforts and what sets Shaw University apart from other universities like NC State, which is right up the street, one of your competitors when you're talking about information and technology and computer sciences. What's the differentiators?
Well, there are quite a few. Shaw University is a small institution. We have a population of now 1656 students. And what that means for us is that our classroom sizes are smaller. We are able to provide a nurturing environment where each student feels as if it's a customized education. They feel warm, they feel welcomed, and we are also able to have call students out on a named basis, right? Or professors know their students by name. And when you can provide a comforting environment that is conducive to learning and that students know that they can call upon their professors and not a teaching assistant or a graduate assistant, I think it changes the landscape for success in academia. One of the other things that we are intentional about is our responsiveness to industry needs. I am very certain that I can erase a lot of the bureaucracy that exists in higher education, and that is just how I lead. I try not to get a lot of things caught up in red tape, but once we vet ideas and we know that it works for the institution, then we execute. We don't need to have days, months, years of debates on how it is that we're going to execute a particular idea. We want to ensure that if good ideas come in and there's funding to get it done, then let's get it done. And that's the kind of spirit that I've really led the university, and our VPs know that there are no bad ideas, but that once you come into Shaw, you bring a good idea to the table and we'll manage to churn it out and get outcomes. When we talk about responsiveness to industry needs, we want to ensure that the majors that we offer, the programs that we offer, are a direct fit with what our local companies are looking for. We don't want to put students into the marketplace and they have a degree that is worth nothing. You know, I don't want to see students come in choosing a tough major and then deciding, hey, this is not for me, and then just choosing a degree that has no value or a program that has no value. So that's one of the things that we're doing. We're ensuring that all of our programmatic offerings are stellar and they are in demand. And I think that sometimes at larger institutions, the contrast is that's not really the case, because they may prefer to offer a breadth of offerings in order to appeal to a large population of students. Shaw University is determined to be focused. We want to focus our programmatic offerings on what exactly our local, regional, and global partners are looking for. We want to ensure that we are producing the talent that they need in order to make their organization successful. And one of the other primary focuses that we have is on servant learning. We want to ensure that the students that we graduate are able to live, work, and prosper in a global environment. We're going to turn learners into leaders, and we're intentional about that.
And when it comes to your computer and information sciences department?
I think it's an excellent question you asked, because before you mentioned some people question the relevancy of HBCUs now, and I think at Shaw we're really demonstrating our relevancy. We have to find our niche. And training these highly skilled technical workers is something we can do extremely well, because when you compare what we're able to do versus a large school, in the initial programming classes, the student might be in a room with 200, even 400 people sometimes.
At a larger university.
Yes, and we have made lots of investments in technology. We have made investments in faculty, so we have very small class size, and we enforce that. We make sure every one of our students has a computer in the classroom, and so when they are learning those initial skills, they're able to be at the computer and an instructor can actually come and actually help them, because initially it can be very frustrating because you're going to make some mistakes and it just won't work. If you're in a large lecture class, you're kind of on your own, and that can be very frustrating, and we see a lot of students leave the major because of that. We're able to do it differently. We're able to have every student with their own computer. When they get one of those errors, the instructor comes and they help them figure out why it's wrong. And so they learn how to do it correctly, but we're also teaching them, how do you figure out what's wrong? How do you get past that stumbling block? And that we really see is helping retain the students, helping keep them in the major. And when we're done with them and we're sending them out to the companies, they're not saying, oh, this student isn't what we want. They're coming back and saying, do you have more of these? This student's fantastic. Excellent. And so we're really seeing they're very happy with what they're getting and they're asking us for more.
We love to hear those student success stories. Talk about some of the recent student success experiences that you've seen coming from the CIS program.
So, I mean, so many, just to reel off. You know, graduate school placement right now, we have students at NC State, at University of Maryland College Park, NCA&T, NCCU. That's graduate school, but companies, we have students at Fidelity Investments, IBM, Cisco, Intel. We've done phenomenally well, and I think it speaks to how we're training the students, the skills they're getting, the innovative approach, and the companies are coming back and wanting more. So, you know, and we brought a student with us who I think is the very best example
Absolutely. We're going to hear from
what a
her.
great job our students are doing.
We're going to hear from her a little bit later, but Dr. DuBois, that's exactly what you want to have happen.
Exactly.
To position Shaw in a place where you're in demand and in the spotlight.
That's right. And it feels so good to see that companies are buying in. You know, I'm an alum of Shaw University, and what I really wanted to do was give back to Shaw. And so when I came here as a chemistry professor, I knew that I wanted to share my corporate experience with the students that I taught. And I didn't even imagine at that time that I would be able to serve Shaw University in my current capacity. So you can imagine now being able to work with our Shaw University community to come up with ideas and then see them come to fruition and see our students benefit from the trailblazing that it is that we're now doing. It's been absolutely outstanding.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that information. And Dr. Lloyd Williams, Chair of the Computer and Information Sciences Department, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us and share more about your department with us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Up next, we'll meet one of Shaw's top CIS students and hear her plans to change the world of information technology. Tar Heel Talk will continue after these messages. Welcome back to Tar Heel Talk. I'm Sonia Williams. We're talking today about Shaw University's efforts to increase diversity in the IT field. And with us again is the president of Shaw University, Dr. Tashni Ann DuBrois. Also joining us is one of the top students in the computer sciences department, and that is Lola Balogun. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, tell us a little bit about why you decided to be a computer sciences major.
Initially, I've always wanted to be a business major, but coming to United States made me change my mind because I felt that's where the world is going right now. So there's really nothing you do without computers. So I said, let me give it a shot. And I'm so glad I did. That's the best decision I've ever made.
So why has it been such a good decision for you? What opportunities have you had being a student at Shaw University?
Oh, I've had wonderful opportunities. I've been able to meet with different companies. I had the opportunity to have internships at various companies. And then I recently had my research program with the University of Houston, which was awesome.
So you've had a lot of experience working with professionals in the industry. What has that experience meant to you, and how has it helped you shape the rest of your study time at Shaw?
It has really helped me a lot. It really made me be able to discover myself. I was able to build my leadership skills, and then I felt like they personally came to prepare me for the workforce. So I feel 100% prepared to go out there and make them proud.
Right, and that again is what you want to see happen at Shaw University, not just with the Computer and Information Sciences department, but with every department, preparing students and getting them ready, having them have those opportunities to interact with professionals already in the industry.
That's right. Sonia, Lola isn't saying it, but she's an absolutely outstanding student. Let me just tell you, not only is she a computer science major, but she also minors in math as well, and business. And I want you to understand just how much in demand she is, because she has managed to attract internships and research stints at the University of Houston. She's done research there. And what I saw in Lola is that she has a drive like no other. She came to us as a global recruit from Nigeria. And you can imagine coming to a foreign country to pursue studies, much like I did, actually.
Right,
and
you're from Jamaica.
That's right. So I understand her journey. And so to be able to come to the United States and gain so much experience, not only at Shaw, but also at major research institutions and in corporate America, has really proven, not only to Lola, but to her family, that she can do it, and that she has reaped a return on her investment in a Shaw University education.
Absolutely. Now, Lola, what are your plans once you graduate? What do you want to do in this information and technology world?
Oh, I want to go out there and show them what we have. I mean, what Shaw has actually made out of me. So I really love to get into workforce, to get a decent job, and be able to not just work for them, but actually contribute to them and make a difference in the company, and go back to grad school for my PhD so I can be like Dr. DuBrois.
Now, Dr. DuBrois, you have mentored countless Shaw students and students in other areas as well. Talk a little bit about the importance of having those experienced mentors and why that is such a passion point for you.
You know, when I was a student at Shaw, I didn't know that I would be able to get an internship at NC State. It was really an internship under Dr. Bruce Novak that changed how it is that I viewed chemistry, and really set me up to become a PhD scientist. My mentors started at Shaw University by nurturing me. Dr. Ejire was my mentor then, and he was the one that helped to accommodate that internship experience. And all through the years, I've realized that for every step that I've taken in my academic pursuits, I was not able to gain an advantage until I was mentored by somebody who actually took time to care about me. Dr. David A. Schultz at North Carolina State University was my graduate advisor. And in each of those instances, none of my mentors looked like me. And most of them were males at that time, but they realized that they wanted to see their students succeed, and so they took the time to show me what it is that I needed to do in order to be prepared for the next step of my academic pursuits. And so now I pay it forward. I know the importance of having someone to look up to, having someone to open doors on your behalf, and having someone to criticize you, to tell you when it is that you're going wrong.
Absolutely.
And so this is what I do with the students we have now.
Lots of great things happening at Shaw University. Dr. DuBois and Lola Balgun, thank you so much for being here and sharing this information with us today.
Thanks for
Thank
having us,
you.
Sonia.
That's it for this week's Tar Heel Talk. To comment on this or other episodes of the show, send us a message on our Facebook page or an email to tarheeltalk@fox50.com. I'm Sonia Williams. Have a great week.